Brian, can I ask you something? Do you find it easy to talk to people you do not know very well?
Honestly, it depends on the situation. If someone starts the conversation first, I am usually fine, but if I have to go first, I sometimes freeze up a little.
Really? I would never have guessed that about you. You always seem so comfortable when we talk.
Well, talking to you is easy, Jessica, but a stranger in an elevator? That is a completely different story.
That is actually exactly what we're talking about today. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk English Freely. I am Jessica, and this is Brian. We have natural conversations in everyday English, just like two friends chatting. Please give us a like and subscribe if you enjoy our videos. It really helps us so much. Today, we are talking about small talk, those short, casual conversations we have with people we do not know very well.
It sounds so simple, but it can feel surprisingly tricky, even in your own language.
Right, small talk sounds easy, but it can actually feel really awkward. You see someone in the hallway at work, or you are waiting in line at a coffee shop. You feel like you should say something, but you are not sure what. And then the silence just gets longer and more uncomfortable.
I know that feeling so well. There is this moment where you are both very aware of each other, and you think, should I say something? But then the moment passes, and you feel a little strange for staying quiet.
Yes, and sometimes you do say something, but the conversation dies right away. Like you say, "Cold today, isn't it?" And the other person just says, "Yeah, that is it," over before it even started.
The one-word response. That is one of the hardest situations in small talk. You put yourself out there and get almost nothing back. What do you usually do when that happens?
Honestly, I used to just give up and look at my phone, but I have learned that you need to ask a follow-up question. So instead of leaving it at "cold today, isn't it?" you could say, "Cold today, isn't it? Do you think it will stay like this all week?" That gives the other person something real to respond to.
That is such a smart approach. Open-ended questions are so much better than yes or no questions. A yes or no question can stop a conversation in just a few seconds, but a question that invites an opinion or a little story keeps things going naturally.
For sure. Brian, what do you think is the most common small talk topic?
Weather, without a doubt, it is completely universal. Everyone experiences it. It is safe because it is not personal at all, and there is always something to say: too hot, too cold, too rainy, too dry.
It really is the perfect neutral topic. Though after a while, talking about the weather can feel a little thin. Like, yes, it is raining. We both already know this. What else?
That is actually the key to good small talk. Using weather, or any simple opener, as a door into a real conversation. You start with something easy, and then move into something a little more interesting. For example, if you say, "It has been raining all week," you could follow up with, "Have you been staying inside mostly?" And suddenly you are talking about weekend plans, or hobbies, or something personal.
Oh, I love that. So, small talk is not really about the topic itself. It is about using something simple to open the door to a real conversation.
Exactly. The goal is not to talk about the weather forever. The goal is to make the other person feel comfortable, and to find a small connection, even if it only lasts a few minutes.
That is such a lovely way to think about it. Brian, do you think small talk is actually important? Or is it kind of a waste of time?
I used to think it was a bit of a waste of time. Honestly, I am someone who prefers deeper, more meaningful conversations, so small talk used to feel a little pointless to me.
I totally understand that feeling.
But I changed my mind over the years. Small talk is actually how most relationships begin. You do not walk up to a stranger and immediately have a deep conversation. You start small, and if there is a real connection, it slowly grows into something bigger. Small talk is really just the first step.
That is so true. I think about so many friendships I have now that started with a tiny, random comment, a joke about a long line, or a question about what someone was reading. Those little moments can turn into something really meaningful.
Yes, I actually met one of my closest friends through small talk. We were both waiting for a delayed train, and we started complaining about it together. That short conversation turned into exchanging numbers, and we have been good friends ever since.
That is such a wonderful story, Brian. See, small talk really does matter. What do you think makes someone really good at it?
I think the biggest thing is genuine curiosity. People who are good at small talk are actually interested in others. They ask questions and they really listen to the answers. It is not just about filling silence. It is about showing the other person that you see them.
Yes, and I think body language plays a huge role too. Smiling, making eye contact, turning your body toward the person. Even before you say a word, your body is already sending a message. If you look closed off or distracted, people will not feel welcome to talk to you.
That is such a good point. A warm, open expression makes such a big difference. Someone who looks friendly is so much easier to approach. And once you seem approachable, starting a conversation feels so much more natural.
I also think location matters a lot. Some places are just naturally better for small talk than others. A gym, a dog park, a coffee shop, a community class. These are places where people already have something in common. So, starting a conversation feels much less forced.
Shared situations give you a natural starting point. If you are both at a cooking class, you already know one thing you have in common, so you can say, "Have you taken a class like this before?" And the conversation starts without feeling awkward.
Right. And Brian, what about small talk at work? I think that one feels a little different from talking to a complete stranger.
Yes, work small talk has its own feel. You see these people every single day, so conversations build over time. You remember small things they mentioned before. Like if a colleague said they were going on a trip. Next time you see them, you can ask, "How was your vacation?" That one small detail shows you were listening and that you genuinely care.
That is such a simple but powerful thing. I always try to remember one or two things people share with me. When you bring it up later, people feel truly remembered, and that builds a real sense of connection.
It really does. And at work, small talk also helps create a more comfortable environment. When people feel at ease with each other on a personal level, it makes working together so much smoother.
Absolutely. It is not just being polite. It actually makes everything work better. Brian, have you ever had a small talk moment that went really wrong?
Oh yes, I once tried to start a conversation with someone in an elevator. I made a small joke about the building having too many floors, and the other person just stared at me with a completely blank face. No smile, no response, nothing at all. The elevator ride felt like it lasted about 3 years.
Oh no, that is so painful just to hear. I have had moments like that too. Once I commented on someone's drink at a cafe and got the name completely wrong. I said, "Oh, is that a latte?" And they said it is a cappuccino very flatly. Then we just stood there in total silence until my order was ready.
Ha, the coffee correction, that is such a classic awkward moment. But here is the thing. Those moments are uncomfortable for perhaps 30 seconds, and then they are completely over. The risk is absolutely worth it. Because sometimes the conversation goes really well.
That is such a healthy way to see it. I think a lot of people avoid small talk because they are afraid of awkward moments. But if you never try, you also never get the good moments.
Exactly. And the more you practice small talk, the less scary it becomes. At first, it might feel a little unnatural, but over time, it just becomes part of how you move through the world.
I love that. It really is a skill you can build, not just something you're born with. Brian, are there topics you think people should avoid in small talk?
Yes, definitely. Things like politics, religion, and money are usually best to avoid with strangers. These topics can very easily lead to disagreement or discomfort, especially if you do not know the other person's views or situation at all.
Right, small talk is supposed to feel light and easy. The moment a topic feels heavy or controversial, it is not really small talk anymore. I once brought up a news story at a work event, and it turned into a very tense debate. I learned pretty quickly to keep things more neutral in those situations.
Yes, keeping things positive and light is really the golden rule. The compliments also work really well as conversation starters. Saying something like, "I really like your bag. Where did you get it?" Or, "That looks delicious. What did you order?" These are friendly, easy, and almost always get a warm response.
Compliments are so underrated as a way to start a conversation. Everyone likes to feel noticed and appreciated.
And another great tip is to comment on your shared situation. Whatever is happening around you is always a safe topic. "This line is moving really slowly, isn't it?" Or, "This music is so nice. Do you know who this is?" You do not have to think of something clever. Just notice what is around you and say something.
That is great advice because it takes the pressure off completely. You do not have to prepare or think of the perfect thing to say. Just look around, notice something, and comment on it.
Right. And for anyone learning English, small talk is actually one of the best ways to practice speaking in real life. The conversations are short, so the pressure is low, and every single exchange is a small win.
Yes, even a 30-second conversation counts. You said something, the other person responded, and real English was used. That is progress, no matter how small it feels.
100%. Progress does not always look big. Sometimes it looks like a 2-minute chat about the weather, and that is perfectly wonderful.
I feel like we could talk about this all day, Brian. Small talk really is such a big topic when you start digging into it.
It really is. It connects people. It makes spaces feel warmer, and it reminds us that even with total strangers, there is always something we have in common.
Brian, one thing I want to bring up that I think a lot of people struggle with. How do you end a small talk conversation gracefully? Sometimes the conversation has been nice, but you need to move on, and it can feel really awkward to just walk away.
Oh yes, this is so important. The ending of a small talk conversation matters just as much as the beginning. A good way to wrap it up is to give a natural signal, saying, "Well, it was really nice talking to you," or, "Should probably get back to it, but it was lovely to chat." These phrases signal that you are ending the conversation, without making the other person feel dismissed.
Yes, and I love adding something like "enjoy the rest of your day." It leaves the whole interaction on a warm, positive note. The other person walks away feeling good, and so do you.
Right. A bad ending can make an otherwise nice conversation feel strange, but a warm, friendly close makes the whole thing feel complete, and people remember how you made them feel, even after they forget what was actually said.
That is so true and such a good point. I also want to talk about how small talk is different across cultures, because this catches a lot of people off guard when they travel somewhere new.
Absolutely. In some countries, small talk with strangers is very normal and expected. In others, it is much less common and can feel a little intrusive. In the United States, for example, people often chat quite freely with strangers, at the grocery store, in a waiting room, almost anywhere.
Right, I found that quite surprising the first time I experienced it. In some cultures, staying quiet with strangers is totally normal. But in others, silence between two people can feel a little awkward.
And even the topics considered safe vary by culture. In some places, asking about someone's job right away is perfectly fine, but in others, it feels too personal for a first conversation. So if you are in a new country, watch how the people around you interact with strangers. That is one of the best ways to learn.
Such practical advice. And for English learners, one thing that trips people up is, "How are you doing?" Someone says it and you think they really want to know, but often it is just a warm greeting. The expected answer is usually good, "Thanks. You?"
Yes, understanding those social conventions makes everything feel more natural, and it helps you respond in a way that fits the moment.
I could not agree more. Small talk is really about reading the room and matching the energy around you. Sometimes that means saying a little. Sometimes it means saying more. And the more you practice, the better you get at knowing which one feels right.
And the wonderful thing is, every conversation, even a short one, is a chance to practice. A chat with the cashier at the grocery store, a comment to someone waiting at the same bus stop. These small moments add up over time, and before you know it, small talk starts to feel completely natural.
Well, this has been such a fun conversation today. Small talk about small talk, I love it.
I hope everyone listening feels a little more confident now about starting conversations in English.
We would love to hear from you. Do you find small talk easy or difficult? And what is your go-to topic when you meet someone new? Leave a comment below. We read every single one.
And if you enjoyed today's conversation, please give us a like and subscribe to Talk English Freely. Your support really means everything to us.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. Keep practicing, keep talking, and we will see you next time.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.